So, with Tokyo Ghoul this week, man, I am pretty lost for words. Holy crap, he did that. I honestly did not expect as much stuff as we did get this week. Like, holy crap. Um, Something that hit me really hard and definitely is something that kind of messed up my whole, just going in there and being okay. Seeing my boy hide in his face and just supposedly that Kamaki did that to him, or that he believes he actually did that much damage to him. So that just seeing him, man, that hit me really, really hard, and to see that he's practically trying to smile every single day, and that he's actually, you know, putting on a brave face in front of the person who supposedly has gotten even much more stronger than the times he's known him as just the eye patch. Just everything about Hyde this week's episode kind of hit a certain feel for me, and I thought that it it couldn't have been done much better. Besides the fact that we could have got probably a lot more backstory just to as of how all of it took place, I feel like. So, I mean, the thing about me is when I see certain things or certain aspects of a show that gives me, at least some bit of hope. Um, I can see that there could have been a much better way, even though this way hit me like in the feels, just because I loved the character already. I loved that character that was almost going to make it through the first season, or no, no, sorry, was almost going to make it through the second season, and to find out, in the coffee shop that he's already been hit by something, and that he pretty much had like he's on borrowed time, pretty much. That hurt, man. And to see him now and to know that he's the main reason to as of why um we're even in this position in the first place. He's the only reason that we've had this chance to get all these people together, or even the idea to get all these people together. Just like Kamiki did, but somehow he's the true one that actually gets it done. And I don't think anyone's giving him that credit for that. But to be fair, the only reason why the ghouls were coming together was to save Kamiki, and so they both were huge parts as to why this actually works out. And I think that's a really good quality to have. So even if, like how Kamiki said, he wants to bear all of it, bear all of it on his shoulders, he doesn't necessarily have to, because it wasn't his idea in the first place to, you know, have this be going on to this certain extent, in my opinion. Hyde, and I think he didn't know exactly what was all popping off in the background. He knew what he could do for Kamiki, but he didn't know that the person to make Kamiki go into this state in the first place still needed to be stopped, still has very powerful forces. And while we're just like taking our sweet time chilling with our people, there's like what, 4 or 5 broken people all working together right now behind the scenes that's just chilling. They're not even really worried about this. Um, so it's interesting to me that we're in a spot where now all of a sudden, where we get a old recording of humans fighting and pretty much getting poisoned by these monsters, or these like creatures that were supposedly created from Kamiki. Remember that. These were the monsters that Kamiki were spewing off of him and actually started to attack, suppose quote unquote, because now I mean, it feels like it wasn't Kamaki's because that means that somehow Kamaki made those things and they had that poison in them all along. But it's interesting to me that the guy who actually, made him Fukiora or whatever however you pronounce it, he's the one who really's gone beyond and above and beyond when it came down to preparations of just getting all of these certain people together, um, just destroying the CCG the way that they did, or at least being a part of it and never being thought to be evil. All of those types of things makes me wonder how he isn't involved with making those things poisonous. It's weird to me to think that that Kamiki would just have all of that in his body as is. So, if you guys wouldn't mind explaining that to me, that would be amazing. Um, but yeah, so supposedly these things are Kamiki's creation, and at the same time, another reason why it's hard to believe is because now Kamiki's new uh, why? His new appendage that he gets off of his back, man, the Kamui. I think I'm saying that Kagune. I always pronounce it wrong at the first attempt sometimes. But seeing what he has, it it was angelic. It was beautiful. It was absolutely nuts, okay? And to see it then hit everywhere and not aim anywhere for like the head where the exploding like poison was coming. He clearly noticed the problem, so he attacked it. And then not only did he notice the problem, he then started to hit all of them the same way, not losing control in the sense of being, giving them what they want and destroying their heads to make it explode or something. So I'm sorry if I asked a lot of questions, but that's my other question. With the new Kamiki accepting that he did murder all these people, but he never wanted to actually murder them, and still telling Rize that he does not resent her, uh, all of these things, I feel like they coincide with why this ability has sprouted. Like the forgiveness of her, the sins that he carries of all the people that he's killed on like not even purposely, and then then the hopes and dreams of being able to make a good world for Toka, his kid, all the ghouls and all the humans. Is this that manifesting, or is this something completely different and unknown to even ghouls in the um, and this is why he's the one-eyed king and uh, the one guy who actually fought him and told him to become the one-eyed king. Is this what he actually saw within him potentially wise? I'm just very curious if or if this ability is kind of like one of those abilities in like Bleach where it just appeared at the perfect time at the end of the show, so he had something very good to combat uh, probably multiple people. If his teammates get taken out and he has to take on four freaking ghouls that are above SS, um, he would need that ability. But seeing how tired he was after using it once is a pretty bad sign in my opinion. Kind of like Ultra Instincts or kind of like any transformation that someone just learns, Golden Frieza, that they don't really truly know how to either control it or they don't know how much stamina they're truly losing by activating it in the long term. So very interested in that aspect to see what's gonna happen. But yeah, you guys, let me know how you feel about this episode of Tokyo Ghoul. I mean, to be fair, I did feel pretty emotional when I saw Hyde's face and just hearing uh, him say, Kamiki say, "You always been protecting me, even up till now. It's just who you are." And it's almost like he hates it because he can't do anything for him. It seemingly. Like that sucks. You are the one. You're pretty much like a damsel in distress to him. You know, like he's always there and getting you out of this stuff. So it got to be hard. Um, but yeah, so that was enough for me to be like, man, like this is a memorable episode for me, even though, like a lot of the other stuff, like Psycho getting their eyes covered with the poison and stuff was rough. People still going through all their grievances with themselves, mostly Mutsuki, and thinking that she shouldn't be able to see Kamiki and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. I really do like this show, and it sucks that there's a whole complete opposite like audience right next to me that would say the complete like it's in complete awe of hatred for this episode. Like, wow, this is terrible. Wow, this is horrible. Wow, this. So at the end of the day, guys, we all are becoming some really like critical, uh, point putters. So, and by point putter, I mean we're just becoming critic. We're just having critical opinions on something that maybe they didn't have fully the choice to do in the first place as the animated studio, or vice versa and stuff. So, what if there was the information of why every single thing was done the way it was done? And it was pretty much verbatim saying that they didn't care about anything but whatever they made, then okay, I could definitely see a good reason to not give this studio this anime, but at the same time, um, if there isn't that, and they are just trying to make something very great, and they thought they did it, and they've been enjoying their vision, we shouldn't knock people for their creativity when it comes down to something. Because imagine, like, look at all these CGI shows right now, man. Go look up Saint. Go look up all of Netflix animes right now that they're about to try to drop. Okay, and if they all become CGI, like that Saint one, the anime's community is got more problems than Tokyo Ghoul. So if you don't appreciate something like Tokyo Ghoul that doesn't use any CGI and uses that animation that you love and that you crave, and you want to go back to an anime that pretty much relies on it like Berserk, please, by all means, take all of the community and the hate for Tokyo Ghoul and take it over to the CGI and love it, because that's what you're asking for at this point. They're gonna now do a CGI Tokyo Ghoul if that stuff does good, and that's because of all the criticisms of certain aspects of the show. So remember, everything that happens, everything that's said, usually has a backside of it. Whatever is said, something usually happens afterwards. If someone gets hurt, something usually happens, right? If you kill somebody in real life, you usually either have to go in hiding because you're wanted, or you're already in jail about to serve your whole entire life in there. So that's just how things are in the world, and people act like words can't have that much of an effect. They can. So just remember that when we might have CGI Tokyo Ghoul full on, and you're wondering why you're rewatching and actually enjoying it. But with that, my anime people, I love you all. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for all the support. Um, I honestly do want to read the manga more and more, but at the same time, if there's any more Tokyo Ghoul animation coming out soon, I probably will hold off just to keep my bias from being like shot out. So with that, everybody, I hope you guys have an amazing day or night or evening, depending on when you're watching this, and I will be dropping more content as much as I can on the daily. So if you want daily anime content, I am the Anime G, and I will try to get that to you. So with that, everybody, peace.